How do Power 5 conference tie-breaking procedures work? Imagine a close race at the end of the college football season where teams finish with the same conference record. How do they decide which teams go to the championship game? That's where tie-breaking procedures come into play. These rules are set up to make sure the best teams get a shot at the title when records are tied. Each Power 5 conference has its own specific steps, but they all follow a similar pattern. First, they look at the results of games played directly between the tied teams. If one team beat another, that team gets the edge. When multiple teams are involved and not all played each other, the next step compares how they did against common conference opponents. This means looking at each team's win-loss record against the same teams in the conference. If that doesn't break the tie, they move on to compare how each team performed against the highest-ranked teams in the conference. They do this sequentially, moving down the standings until the tie is broken. Another step involves checking the strength of schedule within the conference by looking at the combined winning percentage of each team's conference opponents. This helps determine which team faced tougher competition. Some conferences also use advanced rankings or computer metrics to help break ties if the previous steps don't work. These can include analytics scores or other data-driven rankings. If all else fails, the conference might resort to a random draw or a decision from the conference commissioner. For example, the Atlantic Coast Conference and the Big Ten use head-to-head results first, then compare records against common opponents, and then look at performance against the top teams. The Big 12, which has no divisions, follows similar steps, emphasizing head-to-head results and strength of schedule. The Southeastern Conference also considers point differential as a tiebreaker before resorting to rankings or random selection. These procedures are especially important at the end of the season when multiple teams have identical records. They help determine which teams will compete in the conference championship game. Winning that game often guarantees a spot in the college football playoff, making these rules very significant. Overall, Power 5 conference tiebreakers prioritize direct competition results, performance against top teams, and strength of schedule. If needed, rankings or random choices are used to fairly decide which teams advance. This process ensures the most deserving teams get a chance to compete for the national title.